if you were in a relationship with Shari and you said it was a business arrangement, that's in the paperwork too, verbatim.
You such a liar.
No, I'm not.
You're
No.
Elodie, she, and Martell Holt's love story started with the hope of eternity, but ended in a storm of betrayal and suffering. From building a family and a business empire together to the heartbreaking infidelity revelations that terminated their marriage, Melody emerged stronger, claiming her authority and moving forward as a single mother and businesswoman after Stormi entered the picture as a close friend who felt like a breath of new air. Behind the scenes, Stormi was more complex than she appeared, even though we've seen far too often that loyalty in the spotlight isn't always what it seems. What happens when trust is put to the test and betrayal comes from the most unexpected place. Melody had no idea that the link she treasured might have been hiding a reality that would pierce her more deeply than anything she had ever experienced. Let's discuss.
I don't get recorded like you don't put me out of the world. Don't record me. Don't record me. Okay?
Oh, you go tap my.
I will. Call them and give them money. Move that to me. It's meant to be like it's supposed to be.
Melody initially didn't give much thought to the odd exchange between Martell and Stormi, two individuals who came from quite different backgrounds. But there was an odd feeling between them. Already known for being shady, Martell started behaving very evasive late at work, which led to missed calls and vague excuses that Melody was unable to shake. Melody's intuition told her something wasn't right, but events that should have been about supporting her instead devolved into Stormi talking to her for far too long. Stormi then appeared to get close to Martell and surreptitiously erased texts from his phone that were quickly read and erased, making him jittery whenever she was near it. Melody saw a suspicious text combination one evening. The tone was too intimate for her comfort level, but the message wasn't entirely apparent. This was the first tangible proof that her instincts were right, and she started to make connections between seemingly unimportant events. It presented a somewhat dubious image, and matters took a severe turn when a friend who had seen what was going on, yet was committed enough to speak up, spilled some serious tea, describing moments when Stormi and Martell seemed far too at ease together, along with other things Melody had never witnessed. Then came the communications, from which Mel Neal was able to gather the proof she needed. Screenshots of their unmistakable texts that validated her darkest suspicions. Martell and Stormi had crossed some important lines. The emotional consequences had a significant impact on Melody, although it wasn't not just about her husband's treachery, but also about losing trust in a person she thought was a friend. Stormi was no ordinary person. She was a part of Melody's inner circle, who had seen her at her weakest and didn't want to ignore it. Melody confronted Martell, presenting the truth and not allowing him to distort it. The conversation was intense and brimming with raw emotions. Martell attempted to justify the circumstance, but it was indisputable. Every story has two sides, and Stormi wasn't going to keep quiet when Melody asked questions. But all she got was a heartbreaking admission of how badly two people she had previously trusted had betrayed her.
Should I expose him or should I not? And remember when you told me exposing Martell would make it look bad, but hey, we can't think about Martell because Martell has never thought about Ariane. That's true. That's true. What do I need to do for Ariane Holt? We're not thinking about Martell Holt, okay?
Girl, I'm gonna say this.
Literally what we do.
But the criticism hit Stormi quickly. Stormi wasn't going to let the accusations define her without a fight, and her swift reaction, first in public statements, then in cryptic messages that seemed to be meant for Melody, was enough to cause a stir on social media and in their respective social circles. Stormi vehemently denied any wrongdoing in her first public statement, asserting that she would never betray a friend and that her connection with Martell was purely platonic. She presented herself as a victim of miscommunications and partial truths, referring to the circumstance as a misunderstanding as opposed to a truth. Serious misrepresentation of her intentions. but Stormi mainly relied on vague allegations like "real ones know the truth in time" instead of offering proof. Reveals everything she posts on social media. Loyalty has no expiration date. And it's funny how people love a villain in their own story were among Stormi's enigmatic communications remarks that fueled the flames. Left followers and admirers wondering if she was defending herself or denigrating music. The uncertainty just increased. The divide between Stormi's supporters and those who insisted on her innocence. But Melody Corner's examination of her remarks revealed flaws in her explanation. Explanations often omitted important details, such as why Martell's actions around her had raised so many concerns for Melody. Melody's denials, which lacked direct responses and appeared more like damage control than a sincere effort to clear her name, split her fan base into two factions. Commend her for confronting the betrayal head-on, stating that it's so amazing to watch her overcome it all and that she deserves so much better because she's already gone through enough. Another user went on to say that it hurts the most when it comes from those you trust and that this only serves to highlight her strength. Melody is handling it with elegance and dignity, while Stormi's defenders argued that assumptions were being made without hard evidence and that the reality might not be as obvious as it seemed. People are so quick to judge based on speculation and screenshots without knowing the whole story. One commenter stated. Background. Another author wrote, "We shouldn't make snap decisions without hard proof since Stormi might not be guilty of anything. Discrediting her in the absence of proof would be unfair."
Does it hurt you that she's a Mario program?
It does not hurt me, no. More than anything, I go into protection. Like, I'm never going to trust someone who adored my family setup so much that they worked their ass off to come between it. Of course, we can help him, but still.
Absolutely.
Like I said, for me, knowing that they are around someone who has said such nasty and vile things about their mother and about
all those dirty things
and about their father, even said multiple about their father. See how he defends her? He's bringing up something directly at me when I'm talking about a person who has for years, as he knows, tried to torture and come in between our marriage, DMing me. See, he knows all of those things, not to keep going. So when he sits there and tries to defend, how dare he?
Melody was deeply affected by the circumstance, both personally and professionally. Not only did her marriage fail, but it also caused her to doubt her own judgment and the friendships she had established. It was hard to cope with the hurt of being betrayed by two people she believed she could trust. As things start to settle down, Doris, there's still a big question. Can Melody bounce back from such a significant betrayal? Those close to her took a serious hit, and the idea of restoring everything seemed like a major struggle on the job front. Some admirers really stepped up and wrote her supportive messages when the scandal received a lot of publicity, both positive and negative. It was all about finding a balance between staying true to herself and handling the attention that comes with sharing such personal information, even though some people question why she chose to make it public for Melody. Social media content Melody's experience became part of a wider discussion about loyalty, trust, and moving on as many women shared their own tales of betrayal. Melody struggled though, since beneath it all lay a great emotional burden. She used hashtags like Weston with Melody, Strength, and Sisterhood to load her post with words of encouragement, demonstrating the sincerity of the love. She was forced to confront some difficult truths as a result of the treachery, including those regarding Martell and Stormi, as well as the limits she would need to set for herself moving forward. In order to deal with her new reality, that she could no longer rely on the people she had once trusted, she started to stay on her guard and avoid letting anyone get too close.
And the rest of my ex, I definitely don't think he's going to try to do this. I definitely had to up my security. Whenever I start seeing people unravel and becoming unhinged, my biggest thing is always going to be safety and protection for me and my children, because this is where they can get.
Melody's recuperation, she turned her pain into something powerful after deciding she would not let Martell and Stormi's betrayal dictate her life or future. Instead, she focused on herself, her kids, and her goals. But the trip wasn't a simple remedy. Rather, it was a roller coaster with many highs and lows. She started by taking back her story. When Melody realized that if she didn't speak, someone else would be in charge of the story, she started talking to her followers honestly about her emotions and challenges. In addition to garnering her pity, her candor inspired several women who, via interviews, social media, and other channels, identified their own experiences in her story. Private Times therapy was crucial to Melody's recovery because she showed what it's like to be deceived and emerge stronger. She helped mainstream the importance of mental health care, especially after going through such a difficult time, by being open about seeking professional help to process her thoughts and regain her confidence. Her choice to seek assistance showed her supporters that true strength comes from trying to heal rather than acting as though nothing is wrong. Melody also underlined the value of having self-worth because being betrayed might cause one to question one's own value. However, she made it clear that the people who betrayed her were the issue, and she exhorted her supporters to always keep their dignity. She taught a straightforward but powerful lesson about letting go of betrayal no matter what other people think or do. Letting go means remembering your history, but not allowing it to dictate your future. Prioritizing her own pleasure before waiting for justifications or apologies allowed Melody to find closure. She counseled her followers to set limits, spot red flags, and don't give them less than they deserve. Melody's journey also included revising her goals to make sure the drama didn't overshadow her aspirations. She concentrated her energies on pursuits that brought her fulfillment and contentment, whether that meant spending time with her kids or launching new businesses. She stated unequivocally that she will make her own decisions in life, not the mistakes of others. What are your thoughts on Melody, Martell, and Stormi's intricate web of secrets? Please leave your comments in the section below, and don't forget to subscribe for more information on this topic.